My gosh, episode 18 of Dandadan did not have to go this hard, but they did, and I absolutely love it. But unfortunately, if you have not watched episode 18 of Dandadan yet, you might want to, because it seems like it might get taken down. But we'll see, we'll see. Yes, despite the fact that the entire internet's, all the fans, everybody loves it, and yes, even one of the band members of X Japan absolutely loved the episode, it seems like, based on a phone call they got, they didn't ask for the rights in order to essentially do an homage to X Japan. Yes, for those who don't know, X Japan is a band in Japan, a metal band. I know them personally based on the anime X. When I heard the music in that one, I absolutely fell in love with them. I looked for anything that I can find of them, and they were just phenomenal. Just amazing music. Yes, for those that have not watched Dandadan, not really sure what I'm talking about here, this episode features a case where they're bringing in a rock band in order to do an exorcism. And yeah, in the original manga, it was an homage to X Japan. This was kind of on the nose that they were kind of going for this whole idea here. It seems like there is a bit of love here for this band. And yeah, it seemed like the actual anime took it a bit further in the idea of the music itself, and even the characters themselves, present cards that have playoff of the names of the members of X Japan. But yes, like I said earlier, it got the attention of Yoshiki, one of the band members, and they absolutely loved it. They really, really enjoyed it. Even one of the band members that did the song for Dandadan even tweeted out against them saying, yes, my band and I did this out of our love for X Japan. Once again, admitting, yes, we did this on purpose, X Japan. Which they replied saying, let's have a session together. Like, it's this great thing where these two bands are kind of coming together and saying, this is awesome. I really enjoy this. The entire episode itself was fantastic. Everybody's enjoying it. Unfortunately, like I said earlier, somebody didn't ask the right people. So Yoshiki tweeted out saying, when I first learned about this, I found it kind of funny and was laughing. But then I got contacted by the lawyers. Shock face. I got contacted by the lawyers. They said there's a possibility of copyright infringement, so I wonder what's going to happen. Everyone, for this kind of thing, it's probably best to contact the relevant people first. Now, I want to cut this off right here and make it very clear. In this case, like they're pointing out here, Yoshiki has nothing to do with this. X Japan has nothing to do with this. Don't turn this into X Japan is going after Dandadan, your favorite anime. That's not what's happening here. Like they're pointing out here, they don't own this song. And as I'll point out later on, it is specifically the song itself. This matter relates to a song managed by Sony Music Publishing. So it seems that a discussion will be held amongst the relevant parties. As an anime fan myself, I love works like this. So I hope things move on in a positive direction. And I think it's kind of pointing out here that yes, these are likenesses of Yoshiki and the band members themselves, but that's not what the problem is. They don't mind that. The problem is the song itself is so close to, I believe it's called Kurenai. It's so close to the song that Sony Music Publishing owns. Yoshiki and them recorded it and did the song itself, but it's owned by the record label. It's owned by Sony Music Publishing. And so they have no control over this. It's Sony Music Publishing, or at least the lawyers that are contacting Yoshiki, probably saying, hey, can you stop talking about this on Twitter? Can you stop talking about that on X? Stop saying thank you. This is really, really cool. You're kind of ruining our case if we're going to do something. But either way, I think this is really strictly going to be the song itself, not the likenesses, nothing else that's in it, not even parodying the names. And it could actually be their costumes too. I'm not going to rule that out as well. Yeah. Japan, unfortunately, has a lot of issues around parody and all this other kind of stuff. They don't have sort of what we have in the United States specifically, and that they do crack down very heavily whenever people parody characters and whatnot. You can't just make a character that is a spoof of another character's. That's why you'll often see in the animes, they'll often overly censor characters when it's obviously, some sort of parody of something else. They'll overly censor them on purpose. It's because their laws around this stuff is very loose, and you can get in a lot of trouble for doing this stuff without permission. And it seems like, based on Yoshiki getting contacted by this, that seems to be the case, that somebody wasn't contacted. But anyways, the oddity here, and the thing that kind of clicked for me, that kind of the, what? Why would this be a problem, is that, yes, for those that know, if you look over here at Dandadan Season 2, specifically, which episode 18's in, if you scroll out into producers, Aniplex. What did this say back here? Sony Music Publishing. So the lawyers contacted you about Sony Music Publishing being upset that Aniplex, which is owned by Sony, is using a song from Sony Music Publishing. So you're saying a lawyer is thinking of suing themselves. It kind of screams that whole thing of like, did a lawyer contact you really quickly and without even thinking about it and not knowing who actually owns the property and made a boo-boo? Now, I will say, this could still be a bad thing because it's not just Aniplex. That is, again, Sony. It's Dentsu. It's Shueisha. It's all these other companies are all part of this. It's not just Aniplex. This is a committee. And there might be actually, a record label involved in here that is essentially going to make money on the side from that music. And that's probably the bigger problem there, is that you have a record label or some sort of label they're going to be doing this under that is literally a song that is their song. That could be essentially what they're going after. It could be they're not going after the show itself, but going after the record label that is doing the song, and will eventually get mad at them for having the song in the actual anime. But either way, there's been cases in the past where, yes, companies have sued themselves. You have Aniplex, yes, even though it is a branch under Sony, and Sony Music's over here, they're branched within the same company, but they can still slap each other around. It has happened in the past, and it can happen here. It's not completely off base, and again, if this is strictly, listed as a committee where all these individuals are involved, all these individuals are making money, Aniplex is only a part of that. They're going to slap the whole thing. So it could still technically have a lot of problems happening. It's just having Aniplex involved here could soften the blow a little bit to be like, it'll look bad if we sue ourselves. So let's not go that far with this whole situation. Let's just kind of settle with accepting this as a big boo-boo and kind of walk away. I kind of wonder if that might be what they'll end up doing there. Either way, I hope that it gets resolved well, just mainly in the fact that it seems like Yoshiki loves it. And there's that element of like how much everybody loves this. It was the great thing about it, I think, is that even what, Yoshiki points out here, it seems like people are kind of being interested in X Japan now. Yoshiki's seeing a big flood of people contacting them about this music and going, holy crap, this stuff is so great. And they're going, holy crap, I hope I can, talk to you guys more and all this kind of stuff. And additionally, Yoshiki's like, I want to check out this anime now because everybody's enjoying it. It looks really cool what they did here. It's like, it's bringing a bigger audience. It's bringing in X Japan fans to Dandadan. It's bringing Dandadan fans to X Japan. It's this massive, cross-pollination. And yes, people clipping this video and putting it out there, everybody's now discovering Dandadan and again, discovering X Japan. I kind of wonder how many fans out there of Dandadan didn't even know who X Japan was. And now they can check out their music and all the great titles that they have. That is, like I said before, stuff that I grew up with. A lot of the music that I absolutely grew up in and loved back in the day. But it's ultimately like one of those moments of like, I hope that this doesn't turn into a negative thing in the end. I hope that despite these copyright, infringement possibility here, that they can come to an agreement here. Somebody probably should get a slap on the wrist, let's be honest. If this wasn't done through the proper channels, somebody should get slapped on the wrist. But hopefully it kind of comes down to, in the end, they come to an agreement. But either way, I just want to get you guys fully, updated on this whole situation. I found it kind of very interesting. Again, I more find it funny around the idea of Aniplex bros. Aniplex. Who was asleep at the wheel? Who did not know this was a bad idea? And who knows, maybe somebody thought they had it, and maybe the lawyers are wrong. Let's just hope the lawyers didn't know. But based on the fact that they're saying right here, they're in discussions, it's probably not a case of a lawyer getting something wrong. It's actually turning into something. But again, hopefully it resolves. Anyways, I'm getting back into it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content and you want to support the channel more, become a member of the channel. Until next time, take care.